Hello, everyone. Welcome to your restorative yoga class. Might be a good idea today to have a couch nearby. A bed would also work. So would a chair or a stool. As always, I recommend you start to get creative with the props that you have at home. Pillows and couch cushions also highly recommended to have today. If you do have yoga blocks, feel free to grab them. We're going to start out in any comfortable position. You can sit on a chair, you can sit on the floor on a prop, you can lay down on your back. We're just going to practice our Villoma breath for a few rounds. So start to get comfortable. If you're seated upright, you might tip the spine forward and backward a few times. Try to find that central axis of the spine. And then maybe soften your eyes or even close them. Relax your arms, your elbows, resting your hands in your lap if you're seated, or maybe a hand on the belly or the rib cage if you're laying down. Let's just start to breathe intentionally through the nose. Take a little bit longer to fully inhale. And a little bit longer to fully exhale through the nose. Keep breathing like that. I will explain Villoma breath if you're new to this practice, if you haven't done it in a while. And even if you have been doing it with us for the past few weeks, it's always nice to have a reminder. So as I talk about this, just keep breathing fluidly through your nose. Our inhale breath comes in three parts. We're imagining our torso is like a vase. We're filling up with air from the bottom all the way up to the top of the head in three parts. So basically 3 inhales. You'll take a small sip of air, slight pause at the belly, a second sip of air, slight pause at the heart, and a third sip of air, pause at the top of the head. And then you'll exhale all the air out through the nose, and we'll repeat that several times. Let's take one more neutral breath in through the nose, get long through the spine. Exhale all the air out through the nose. We'll begin. Inhale, pause at your belly. Inhale, pause at the heart. Inhale all the way up to the head. One nice long complete exhale. Good. Again, inhale, belly. Inhale to the heart. Inhale to the head. Exhale all the way out through the nose. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart. Inhale up to the head. Exhale. Inhale, belly. Heart. Head. Exhale. 3 more rounds of Villoma breath, just like that. Inhale, belly. Heart. Head. And exhale. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart. Inhale, head. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, belly. Heart. Head. Nice long exhale. Let your breath return to normal. Just a nice neutral breath in through your nose, out through your nose. And then we'll come into a tabletop shape. I want to work with the ankles, the mobility in the ankles and the toes, and then we'll set up our first long hold. So this first little jaunt we're taking with the ankles and the toes is just preliminary work. So we're tucking our toes under, include your pinky toes in that. So sometimes it's helpful to reach back, pull your pinky toes forward. So all 10 toes are tucked underneath the ball mounds of the feet. And then you're going to try and sit back on your heel bones. Some of us are not going to be able to do that, and that is okay. In case that is you, a couple of things you could do. You can bring body weight forward onto the hands. And you can play with pressing the hips back to the heels any amount. Any amount is okay. You can also stand up on your knees, pressing your hips and your pelvis forward. So trying to find that sweet spot that's going to work for you. We're going to take 3 rounds of Villoma breath here as we find that place to hold in our little baby toe squat. Nice deep breath in to prepare. Long breath out. Inhale Villoma breath. Pause at your belly. Inhale, pause at your heart. Inhale up to your head. Exhale all the way out through the nose. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart, head. Exhale. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart. Inhale, head. Exhale. If you're sitting back on your heels, bring your hands forward, come into that tabletop shape, untuck your toes and tap out the tops of the feet. Now, we're going to see if we can get the tops of the feet flat, so your toenails pressing down into the floor. And then again, you're going to see about shifting body weight back into the heels. You can absolutely keep your hands forward and a little bit of body weight in the hands, totally fine, more like tabletop or somewhere in between tabletop and kind of a child's pose. Or if that range of motion is there in your ankles, you're getting the tops of the feet flat, toes pointing towards the back of your mat, you can walk your hands back behind your feet like I'm doing and pause here. We're going to take 3 Villoma breaths. Inhale to begin. Nice long exhale. And Villoma breathing 3 rounds. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart. Inhale, head. Exhale the air out. Again, inhale, belly. Heart. Head. Exhale, belly. Or exhale, rather. Just exhale all the way out. And one last time here. Inhale, belly. Inhale, heart. Inhale to the head. Exhale all the air out. If you did walk your hands back behind your feet, come forward, find that tabletop shape again. And we're just going to come right back into that toe squat, tucking the 10 toes under. Make sure the pinky toes are coming along for the ride. Any amount of body weight you can shift back on the heels, but you don't actually have to sit there. Remember, you can bring your hands forward and kind of find that tabletop leg shape. Let's just take 3 normal breaths. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, see if you can settle a little bit deeper into your toe squat, whatever that means for you. And take 2 more breaths here. One last breath. Inhale through your nose. Nice long exhale through your nose. Bring your hands forward if they're not already there. Untuck those toes, tap out the tops of the feet. And then tops of the feet flat as you can get them. Some of you might have a little gap in between the ankle bone and the mat. That's okay. You're working with the range of motion in the ankle that you brought to class today. So if you can walk your hands back alongside your hips, maybe even back behind your feet. Please don't feel bad if you're not getting there. It's absolutely fine to have your hands forward in front of your knees. And just practicing moving the hips back to the heels is absolutely enough, especially if you don't have that range of motion in your knee joint. I want you to just be mindful of that and come more forward into the tabletop shape. 3 breaths here. It's really important for the shape we're making today. It's really important to pay attention to that range of motion in the ankle and the knee first before you move beyond it. Take 1 more breath where you are. And then we're going to come out of this and we're going to set up our first shape. So just take a moment to sit back and watch how I'm setting this up. And there are going to be varying degrees of setups for this. So the first thing you might want to do is have some wall space behind you, and you can turn the short edge of your mat, or you can take the edge of your mat up against a couch or a stool or a chair. So wall space, something solid behind you that's not going to move away when you lean your body back onto it, because we're going to lean our body weight back onto it. Now, I happen to have this handy, it's kind of like a couch cushion that I'm going to use like a ramp. Mine's kind of at an angle just because of the camera in my awkward little office. So if you can get your back squared to your couch or your chair or your wall, feel free to do that. You know what? If you do have yoga blocks at home, I'll show you that particular setup. So this is called half saddle. And we're just making a little ramp for our body to relax back onto. This does require that deep knee flexion and the ankle extension. This bolster is so big. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my left knee in that deep flexion. See how my toes are pointing straight back behind me? Now, if I can, I'm going to bring my right foot forward and then sit down inside of that left ankle and see how my ankle is flat and my toes are pointing straight back behind me. What I don't want to see, and I can't see you, so you're going to have to be honest with yourself here, are your toes pointing out to the side. That puts a lot of torque on your knee joint, which we're trying to protect. So we want the toes pointed straight back behind us. If this deep knee flexion doesn't work for you like this, absolutely fine. What I want you to do is sit up on top of a couch cushion or two. So this would be you instead. You'd be sitting on your couch cushion. Sits bones are elevated. A lot less flexion in the knee has to happen. You add as much height as you need underneath your knee, or underneath your sits bones rather. Okay, and then it might work for you to kind of lean back. Maybe you're leaning back into the wall or leaning back into the chair, leaning back into the couch. As much props as you want to get behind you, keep adding props. So I can add a pillow here. Setup takes quite a bit of explanation because when it comes to our knee joints, nothing is simple, is it? All right. So if you know half saddle, you know it in your body and you know what you need, feel free to head there. But if you're working this shape for the first time or it's been a while and you're just kind of like, oh, I cannot bend my knee that deeply, I want you to listen to that. I want you to get out of the shape, sit up, add more props underneath your sits bones, underneath your butt. Okay? Because really you have to work with that ankle mobility and knee joint first. Then you can start to think about leaning back. Your right leg, because we're starting with that left leg, it can be doing anything. It really doesn't matter. It's just kind of this extra appendage you have right now. So you can stretch the right leg out long if you want. You can keep that right knee bent and the foot planted to add a little extra kind of counterbalance and pressure down into that right foot. So this is a pretty deep stretch for the quadricep muscle on that left side, hip flexor maybe even, you're feeling it there. We are in a little bit of a backward extension, a little back bend. But these are all the things that come after you work with the range of motion in the ankle and the flexion of the knee first. Definitely there are other ways to get into this area of the body, the quadricep hip flexor. We do it often in this particular class, which is supported bridge pose. But then we miss out on all this good, juicy ankle knee mobility stuff, right? We are about halfway through our hold, so let's start to turn the awareness into the breath. Maybe you're closing your eyes. Maybe you just have kind of a soft, unfocused gaze. But whatever you're doing with your eyes, can you really focus on that deep, slow belly breath in and out through your nose if you're able to? So if you were to take 5 more slow breaths, ideally that would take you the rest of the time we're in that shape, which means your breath, one full breath would take you about 10 seconds. You can test this theory by counting your inhale. It should take you 5 counts or 5 seconds. Match that to your exhale, also should take you 5 counts or 5 seconds. I guess they're not necessarily the same thing, depends on how fast you're counting. But thereabouts, and now you'd have about 1.5 breaths left. Oh, bless you, kitty. I don't know if you heard that, but she just sneezed. All right, let's start to make our way to an upright seat, is if you're laying back. Best way to get out of this is to lean all that body weight to that right leg, which is your non-working leg, and then extend your left leg forward. Just give your left leg a good old shake. You can rub your hands around the knee joint. Give it a nice shake, shake, shake. All right. Roll out the left ankle a few times. Point and flex. Excuse me, kitty. All right. So I'm just going to turn and face you on this right side because I just want to remind you this right ankle, we want it flat to the floor. If it's not getting flat to the floor, we're working on the ankle getting there first. So that means our shape has a lot of props underneath our sits bones. Okay, so you have multiple couch cushions underneath your sits bones. And when you're bringing your left leg forward, this knee is not that flexed. Okay, so more height, more height, more height underneath the sits bones so that your knee is not that flexed and you're working in that range of motion on that ankle. Now, for those of you that know you can lay on back, go ahead, lay on back. For those of you that need a lot of support behind you, gather all of your props. You don't have to lay back. You can stay seated. But you know how long we're going to be here. It's about 5 minutes. Remember what that felt like on your first side. And just be mindful of the choices that you make. I'm going to add all my props behind me. Trying to work around my cat today. All right. So here we are. Right knee is bent. You're probably already there, I hope. Maybe you're leaning back. Maybe you're adding more props. Again, be mindful of that right ankle. What direction are the toes pointing? They should be pointing straight back behind you. The toes are not out to the side. Right? If that's not happening for you, work on that ankle mobility first. You know how to do that now, right? If you have questions, please ask. Please ask. Ideally, we're not sitting on top of our right heel bone. That's why we prop it up if we need to. Otherwise, your sits bones are down on the floor inside of the ankle joint. Try to deepen your breath here. Get as relaxed as you possibly can. That's always going to be relative to your experience in any particular shape. Sometimes these shapes are not very relaxing, right? They can be challenging for us to breathe through and work through and hold. And that is okay, as long as we're supporting our body with props, we're honoring our edges, we're not pushing the body beyond it, and we're breathing slowly, deeply through the nose on both your inhale and your exhale. About halfway through our hold. So maybe we try this little experiment here with our last 5 breaths. Again, should take you the full length of the time to breathe those 5 breaths, beginning now. If you're counting your inhale, it's 5 counts. Same thing, exhale 5 counts. Should be about a second per count. So 10 seconds total for one full breath. Okay, let's start to make our way to an upright seat. All that body weight rolls off to your left hip so that you can free your right leg without any body weight on it. Shake out that right leg. You can rub your hands around the knee joint. Our next shape is going to be a supine twist on our back. So maybe you take a pillow, a shallow pillow, underneath the back of your head or a folded up blanket. And then you might take whatever props you were using in your saddle pose and place them alongside your right and left hip. So our twists, we're going to start off by twisting off to our left. We're going to work that outer right IT band, right glute first. I like to take a prop alongside the left hip for that so that my inner knee and ankle can rest on that prop. All right, so lay on back, maybe support your head, hug your right knee into your chest, option to extend your left leg forward. You can also bend that left knee and plant the left foot. So left leg, your choice, really. Keep holding onto your knee with your left hand, pull it across the body. You're rolling all the way onto your left hip. Your left knee, left toes included are rotating off to your left side. Right arm stretches wide off to the right side. Not uncommon to come out of half saddle and have the low back feel a little bit sore. So this is our little counter pose to that shape we just did. Also giving the ankles and knees a break. Moving up into the spine. Try to stay grounded in your shoulders. If you've rotated your torso with your hips, right shoulder comes back down to the mat or a prop. Right arm stretches off to the right side. Maybe that palm's facing the ceiling. You can have kind of like this big capital T shape with the upper body. Or the left hand can gently rest on the belly or the outer right thigh. Try to get heavy in your twist, relaxed in your body. Deepening the breath. Okay, coming up here in a few moments, we have our last 5 breaths. If you want to try counting out those 5 breaths, see if you can time it. For the remainder of this shape, that would begin now with your inhale. Slowly start to unwind. Take your time with that. Roll onto your back. Adjust your hips so that they're in the center of your mat. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. If you're using props to support your twist, move them off to your right hip. And then we'll hug that left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg out long if you like. You can also keep that right knee bent and the foot planted. Or just make sure that bottom leg rotates with the top leg, right? So hips are moving off to the right, knees, all 10 toes. Start to rotate off to the right side. Now, the chest tries to stay open towards the ceiling. So sometimes when we try to go too far into our twist, the whole body wants to rotate into more of a fetal position. That means a range of motion in your spine is not quite where you need it to be to get that rotation. So instead, you need to support props underneath that inner left leg, and maybe even some props underneath that left shoulder, so that your body's not fully going off to the side in a fetal position. We do want some rotation through the spine. Try to keep your chest open towards the ceiling, your left shoulder grounded. Maybe you're stretching your arms out wide in a big capital T shape. Your left palm can be facing the ceiling. You can also keep your right hand touching your body, maybe the outer left thigh or the hand on the belly. Begin to deepen your breath here. Maybe you're closing your eyes. Just a few moments, coming up on your last 5 breaths. See if you can match that to the remainder of your hold beginning now. So in other words, by the time you complete that 5th breath, if you're breathing slow enough, we'll be done with the shape. Slowly start to unwind. Come all the way onto your back. Maybe now you come up into happy baby. You can reach up for the soles of the feet or the backs of the legs, anywhere along the legs. Feel free to rock that side to side. Our next shape will be our last shape, our final Savasana. I like to take a prop underneath the backs of my knees. Some days, today's one of those days. Just a little bit of elevation for the feet. Nice and soothing for the nervous system to have the backs of the knees in contact with the prop. You could swing around and throw your legs up and over a chair. Relax the shoulders down the back. Slightly tilt the chin in towards the chest. Let's take 1 minute here. Deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Just 1 minute to let it all go, let it all rest. Start to deepen the breath. Add gentle movement to fingertips and toes. Move your head side to side. Feel free to close your practice here on your back, but if you'd like to, you could come to an upright seat. We'll take one round of Villoma breathing to close out our practice. Let's take a nice long breath in to prepare. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let all that air go. Villoma breathing one round. Inhale belly. Inhale heart. Inhale head. Exhale. Let go of Villoma breath. Join your hands together at your heart, bowing your chin into your chest, offering reverence and gratitude to our practice, to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis.